My name is Laura A. Grace, and I am a manga creator, but I'm not an illustrator. I am so excited to be kicking off a new video series that I'm going to be doing. It's called The Making of a Manga by someone who is not an illustrator, because I am a mangaka or a manga creator, however you want to say it. Either way, they both work, but I don't actually draw my manga. So here's the thing. Probably now it's been about 3 years when I first felt inspired to write my own manga. In fact, I was watching the anime Kenshin. It was the second time I was watching it. That month I had gotten the flu and I was really, really sick. They're like, it takes about 2 weeks for you to recover. I ended up taking over a month to recover, and during that time I got hit with really hard depression. It was really hard to just get out of the bed, especially because I was sick and I couldn't take care of my kids very well, and it was really bad. I felt extremely low, and Kenshin was a bright spot during that time for me. Well, there was one particular day that I was watching it. I don't even remember the scene off the top of my head, but I remember getting up out of bed and thinking, it would be so cool to cosplay as Kenshin or anybody from Kenshin and meet other cosplayers and other manga readers who are just really excited to gush about manga. The idea just latched on, and I was really excited. And then it was like, wonder if I wrote a manga and I connected with other manga readers and was able to freely cosplay as an author and share about my manga. I loved the idea so much. But then I shut it down. I was giving all these excuses and all these reasons of why I can never write a manga. Before that time, I will say I was not really watching anime. I think, Kenshin was my first actual anime that I realized, hey, this is an anime. I loved Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z as a kid. Absolutely loved Sailor Moon so much, but I didn't realize back then that it was an anime. So fast forward, Kenshin was my first purposeful anime that I watched. Then I wasn't really reading any manga of any kind. I think it was a few months after watching Kenshin that I read my first full manga series, and that was Library Wars. But during that time, I was not in the manga community. I didn't know much about manga in general. I had read it, but not a lot of it. So I was like, how could you write a manga when you don't even know how to do it? And I was like, you don't even know how to draw, and you're trying to do a manga? Everything about that was just despite my excitement to do this manga, I just shut it down. But God is faithful, and I'm just so thankful that fast forward, I think it was probably a year later that I really started to get into reading manga. I started connecting with other manga readers and was finding hey, there is clean manga. And I will have a video about what I sort of define as clean manga and why I feel it's very important to me personally, and just my mission to share the said clean manga with other people. Then not one day, I was growing consistently inspired to actually try and write a manga. And then one day I just felt overwhelmingly compelled to write this manga, and I wrote it in one sitting. That manga was my upcoming manga, Gathering Faith, which Lord willing will be done sometime in February if all goes as planned. So here's the thing. I share all of this because when I finally was taking steps and making action to actually write my manga or try and write a manga, I found some really disappointing, discouraging articles saying because I'm not an artist or an illustrator, can't write a manga. That there's no point in me trying because I'm not Japanese, because I'm not familiar with manga, because I can't draw. And there were a few other things, but those are probably the 3 biggest things I saw. And they're just don't even try. And I don't know how to write script. At that time, I didn't know how to write script either. And I would not say I'm a professional by any means now. There were so many things, so many people saying, you can't do this, that after writing my first manga, I've written another manga that I have not gotten edited or anything like that, but I've written another one, and I'm working on a 3rd one, and I have ideas for a 4th and 5th one. So obviously that's not true, but it can be so discouraging for any manga creator who's not an artist to go find information to be man, I'm really excited to write this manga. I want to try even though I can't draw, and be told, no, you can't do it. Just shut down. No! This whole manga making of a manga video series is for you guys, my friends. I really, really want to encourage you and share my story of how you can publish your story because it is so important. Manga is such a beautiful way of storytelling. And yes, you can write your manga and there will be somewhere in the world, could be where you in your country or it could be somewhere else, another country, that can illustrate your manga. We'll get more into that later on in this series, but I just wanted to give a brief overview of why I'm doing this and how, friends, I really, really want you to write your manga, okay? Like, I am going to be your cheerleader for however long this series is to encourage and let you know you can do it. Do it, my friend. Write that manga. Ignore those people saying that you can't do it because you can't draw. Or maybe you can draw, but you can't draw the manga style. And that is totally okay. Don't feel like, well, man, I need to go to art school or I need to go take art classes and learn how to do it. If you feel compelled to do it, do it. But if you're like, I really just like writing, which is my case right here, I really just like writing the stories and then working with somebody else to bring it to life for me, so to speak, then that is okay. We're going to work through this together, and this by no means is going to tell you, like this video series is going to tell you how to write a manga. It's more of, here's my story, this is what I did, and I want to show you that you can do it too. The beautiful thing about writing, any form of writing, whether that's manga, novels, novellas, script, movies, anything, okay, is that there's no one correct way. Like, it's different for every single person that you meet that is a writer. I have friends that write completely different than I do, and there's people who write similar to me, but they still have their own unique quirks of how they do their storytelling. And that is, like I said, the beauty of writing. And I am just so excited for this series, and I really, really hope it encourages you. I'm going to be basically sharing from the beginning. I've sort of shared how I got into manga or how I got into writing my manga. And then we'll sort of go into like the storyboarding and even post-publication, because one big need I feel that manga writers need, and even when I've picked up resources of how to write manga, how to publish manga, the biggest thing that I cannot find except for one YouTube video, and it's not even relevant today due to that publishing or self-publisher not even being around anymore, is that nobody tells you how to publish your manga. There's so many resources available online. There's books about how to write an actual manga and what you can do to improve either your art, how to storyboard, but there's nothing very, very good information of a walkthrough saying, hey, this is what I did to get my manga published. And that is one huge reason I also wanted to start this series, is because maybe you're like, okay, I've written my manga. I am totally confident that even though I can't draw, I have a manga illustrator, but I don't know what to do next. Friend, I've got you covered. We are going to talk about that. I'm really, really, really excited. I'm sort of hoping that this video series will tie into me actually going through my own publishing process of publishing my manga, because this is the first time I actually published one. I've published 2 books already. Dear Author and then Teen Lines, a poetry collection. And if you're really curious, this is a haiku-inspired, fanfic-inspired poetry collection. I love this poetry collection a lot. And I really love Dear Author a lot too, because if you need just some encouragement one-on-one, this was, when I wrote it, geared more towards authors because I was not part of the manga community yet, is like my heart on page. It's like a love letter to every author, every mangaka, to encourage them to keep writing and that people want their story. Definitely check it out if you need just a boost of encouragement or just a reminder like that, hey, your words matter. And they do, my friend. Your words really matter. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for next week. Next week, I will be talking about how it all began for my manga gathering faith and sort of like the process of writing and the inspiration behind the story. And friends, stay encouraged, be encouraged, and keep writing your manga. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of these videos, then hit that bell icon so you can know exactly when a new video is out. Have a great day. Bye!